Welcome to another episode of UX Because You Matter. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about how I got my very first client project, how I used that as experience to put on my portfolio, my UX portfolio, and double whammy, that was one of my capstone projects for my bootcamp. So you can do it too, and stick around here to learn more about how it was done. So whether you're a bootcamp student or just a person learning UX journey on your own, it is highly encouraged out there from all of the UX experts to try to find client work. And I'm just going to give a couple of tips on how to do that. One of the first things I did is I just went to my social media channels and pages. I had been telling family and friends that I had changed my career, that I was taking a boot camp, and if anyone was out there looking for someone to help either revamp their website or, had an app idea that they wanted to play around with, to just let me know. My friend had an app idea for several years, and after some unsuccessful attempts of reaching out to people to help her with her app idea, we had a conversation, and it was decided from there on out that I would be taking on the task of helping her really take her idea and make it into a tangible product. And you can imagine she was super excited and even emotional because she was so happy. She had faced so much rejection and so many things like interfering in her way that she was really close to completely giving up her idea to begin with. So what happens if you do reach out to people on social media and there's really nothing going on? How can you get a client? Some advice that I've heard swirling around is to just reach out to local businesses and see if they would be willing and accepting to get free work. I mean, it's free work. Who's gonna say no to that? And worst case scenario, if you couldn't get in touch with a friend, family, or your local community, then try to find a business, any business really, to just do their website, even if it's just for a school project. There's really nothing bad about that. I think it's better to demonstrate your work through a real business as opposed to using fictional products or fictional companies that the bootcamp offers, because you're going to run the risk that your portfolio is going to start looking a lot like other people's portfolios. And believe it or not, a lot of recruiters just talk amongst themselves, even UX designers who are the business decision makers and hiring decision makers. They also know, like, oh goodness, like all these portfolios are starting to look the same. So try to definitely find a way to stand out. Throughout this process, I learned that it was really important to set up very clear expectations early on. Another lesson that I learned throughout this process, which I will definitely take with me moving forward, is try, if you can, not to test your clients' friends, family, anyone that they're connected to. This kind of goes without saying, but there's definitely going to be biases, and of course it may lead to false research results, and so yeah, I wouldn't encourage doing that. To give you an example of what I'm talking about, here is a picture of myself speaking on Instagram Reels. I definitely use the power of social media in order to attract usability testers, survey respondents, and anyone that I needed to test a prototype. Here is a short clip of what that video looks like. Hi everyone, I have a big announcement. A friend and I are going to be launching a brand new project that is going to be helping and serving the community, specifically those with disabilities living in big cities. This video was shared by my client and by myself, and together combined, we ended up capturing over 1,300 impressions. One of the other things that we also did was tag organizations that serve and cater to the disabled community in order to spread the word. Trust me, this will definitely help out with your initiatives. And looking back, I wish I would have done more aggressive recruitment of just getting anyone who was disabled to partake in these activities and partaken in the research, I feel that our results would have been less biased. I think that we would have also maybe potentially opened up newer target audiences or target personas and just kind of shed more light to this issue. So yes, I would definitely advise that if you are working with a client and it comes to the research part, whether it's interviews or surveys or anything like that, and the client offers to help you with the recruitment, I would, if you can, like take that list, but take it as a backup list in the event that you can't find anyone, because it's better to interview someone than no one, right? But I would kind of keep that, like I said, in your back pocket as opposed to that being your primary method of getting analytics and testing and questions and all of that good stuff. This is my very first client experience, and so I will say overall it was very positive. However, I did feel that because my client was so in love with her idea and so passionate about this, it was very hard to get real, honest, raw feedback. I feel that, her not having a design background, when she looked at the end product or as we were designing things together, she was like very complimentary, which of course is really nice, right? To hear all those compliments. But I knew deep down inside, she was kind of going on the extreme of very good feedback. You don't want to be on either or where you're trashing someone's work, but you also don't want to be glorifying someone else's work either. You kind of want a healthy middle. And so I had to take her comments with a grain of salt. And I even went back to her and said, hey, I know we're going to have a meeting. I know you're going to say everything's great and everything's wonderful, but please give some really harsh feedback. If you really don't like something, if you don't understand something, you need explanation, or whether you hate the illustrations or the buttons or whatever it may be, like let me know, and so we can go ahead and fix that. So this is part 1 of my client work. If you want to watch part 2, I'm actually going to be getting into the actual UX process of the work that I did. This was to develop a mobile app for disabled users, and I'll go more into detail in that video, but watch out for part 2. And so yeah, other than that, I really hope that this video was helpful. Once again, if you found it useful, let me know, hit the like button. And of course, if you have further questions, send me a message on Instagram, even better on YouTube. And so that's pretty much it. If there's anything else you'd like for me to cover, let me know.